Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Klaus. I'm visiting the nice people at Fantasy Flowers and they asked me to read you a story today. So I borrowed some books from the Weinberg Library right here in Thiensville to read to you today. The first one is A Bad Kitty Christmas by Nick Bruhl. He looks like a bad kitty, doesn't he? 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the city, not a creature was stirring. Bam! Crash! Kaboom! Except for Bad Kitty. A Bad Kitty Christmas. Duh. How did she get here, you may ask yourself. It's a very long story. I'll tell it myself. First thing this morning, I awoke to a clatter, ran down the stairs and asked, what is the matter? That's when I found Kitty in the midst of her caper. She's torn through the gifts and was covered in paper. The angel was ambushed. The books were all bumped. The cards were all crushed. The drums were all dumped. The eggnog was ended. The fruitcake was flung. The gifts were all gutted and the holly unhung. The icicles injured. The jingle bells jumped. Miss Kris Kringle was kicked. The lights were all lumped. The manger was mauled. The nutcracker nailed. The ornaments oosted. The poinsettias failed. The quiet was squashed. The ribbons ripped up. The stair was sent swirling. Oops, the star was sent swirling. The naughty kitty was putting it in the toilet. The tree was tripped up. The unicorn uglied. The vixen was vexed. The wreath looked just wretched. The xylophone xylid. Our Yuletide looked yucky. My zeal had been zapped when I had found Kitty in the shreds where she napped. Oh, Kitty, bad kitty, I'm filled with distress. You've ruined our Christmas. Just look at this mess. All of these presents, these were for you. Why did you do it? And Kitty said, mew. Though there were presents in bundles and boxes galore, Kitty was angry. She wanted more. She wanted. An ape and a bear, a cormorant dish, a duck and an eagle, a baked with a fish, a gecko, a horse, an ibis, a jackal, a kiwi and a lion in a soup with a mackerel, a narwhal, an owl, and a penguin on rye, a quail, a rabbit, and a seahorse in pie, a toad, an urchin, a voile, and a whale, a zyrus and a yak fried with zebra tail. That does it. I've had it. Just look at this place. I don't care if you're mad. Kitty, you're a disgrace. I've never known someone so selfish and greedy. 'Tis the season, you know, to give to the needy. I'd better start cleaning. What will you do? Do you feel like helping? And Kitty said, mew. She was still miffed when we packed up to go on an afternoon trip in the Christmas Eve snow. As we left for the city to see Uncle Murray, the window was open and she left in a hurry. Oh, Kitty dear, dear Kitty, don't go. You must stay, we shouted and cried as she ran away. But still she abandoned us right there and then, and I thought that we'd never see Kitty again. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and out on the street I saw a little black cat with little wet feet. She sat in an alley, a path dark and scary. She didn't look jolly, she didn't look merry. She looked so alone as she sat there and pondered, as if she lost and unsure where she wandered. And then she began to meow and to bellow. She cried for a while until I said, meow, meow. Hello. What do we have here? A little black cat? Don't you have a home? Let's look into that. There, little cat. It'll be all right. You shouldn't be out on this cold, wintry night. I'll take you upstairs to dry off your fur. Would you like some food? And the kitty said, purr. Now my home is a bit empty. Why, it's practically bare, but I still have a little and I'm happy to share. I grabbed a clean towel to dry off her back and set down a plate with a small tasty snack. Do you like this old tree, the one on the shelf? Did you know I adorned it all by myself? You won't see any tinsel, not even one light. It only has photos and they're all black and white. Come sit with me, cat. Let me show you all the folk in my life and people I knew. Here's my Aunt Agnes, my brother Bobby, my dear cousin Clancy, and his daughter Dottie. That's Edgar and Elder with my father Frank, next to grandmother Gail and her husband Hank. These are my in-laws, Ike and Olana, and their two juveniles, John and Johanna. With each had a kid, Kendra and Ken, and the lineage goes on with Landra and Len. Here's my mother Marge with her lovely niece Nan, with her offspring Oscar and her partner Pam. And Quinn in a quilt, a family heirloom. He's related to Robert, who hails from Carthmouth. That's my sister Sophie, her twins Tina and Todd, and dear Uncle Upton, who has a nose that's odd. And Vasha, my friend, or my friend in Afghans. She's Walter's wife, and he is my son. This last one's my favorite. It's a whole silly gang. It's a Christmas reunion where we laugh and we sing. We met in New York near the end of December. I wrote on the picture so I'd always remember. Oh, here it is, Christmas 1962. They're spending our Yule at Central Park Zoo. The cat looked entranced while I patted her fur, and she stared at each picture there before her. You should know, cat, that I'm very quite content with only this tree that looks slightly bent. I may not have jewels or a car or a yacht, but I still have my memories, and that's quite a lot. Little cat, this what Christmas should be. It's not about stuff from a big spending spree. It's not about presents all over the place. It's not about food or a stuffing your face. Like Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and Ed, you see, Christmas is all about family. Home is where your heart is, and that's what they say, so I bet your poor heart feels miles away. Don't fret, little cat, wipe off that tear. If we can't find you a home, you can stay here. But I could tell she was homesick and wanted more, and that's when I heard a scratch at the door. There's someone to see you, lucky black cat. I think he knows where your family is at. Like a furry black flash, she flew out the door and was moving so fast she did not touch the floor. So I guess you see I'll be leaving, I said with a sigh. I'm so glad I met you. Tell your folks hi. So I sat in my chair and I put my tree in my lap and I settled myself for a long winter nap. I was happy to know she had a home of her own. Too bad I'll be spending my Christmas alone. But just when I was starting to slumber and snore, again I heard a scratch at my front door. This cat had come back like she had something to do. What do you want? And Kitty said, meow too. "'Twas the night before Christmas. We were filled with regrets as we sat in our seats missing our pets. The house seemed so empty without them around. I wished and I hoped they were both safe and sound. Then onto the door they arose with such a knock, I sprang from my chair from the sudden shock. And what to my wandering eyes should appear but Kitty and Puppy and a lady most dear. They're home, Christmas is saved. Welcome home, Kitty. I hope you behave. And thank you, dear lady, for bringing them back. I hope that you'll stay for a late Christmas snack. And she did, don't you know? In fact, she moved in. Some friends are like family, and she became kin. Up there is her photo. It's high on the tree, wrapped snug in the branches for all to see. So Kitty is home now. I think that she'll stay. She's gone off to bed to end the long day. The story is over. Now that's everything's right. Merry Christmas to all. And to all a good night. Aw. So I thank you for sharing this story with Mrs. Klaus. And thank you to Fantasy Flowers, the good people here that are allowing me to be in this beautiful place with all kinds of Christmas decorations. But I do need to go back to the North Pole and see what the elves are up to. And I thank you for visiting. There'll be more stories to come. Bye, everybody.